Video 5 is word problems. And I know that the minute I say the words word problems, there are some of you who are shaking in your shoes. Now I want to tell you, don't panic, don't shake too much, because after this video I think you're going to have a lot of tricks as to how to solve word problems. The most important thing is don't panic. I know that when I see a word problem that I don't understand immediately, the first thing I want to do is panic. And when I panic, I'm not thinking too clearly. So if you cannot panic, I think you'll be able to solve many, many, many word problems. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin. Now, I have to tell you something. Most students do not have a trouble with addition and subtraction word problems. It's the multiplication and division word problems that cause most people problems. So we're going to start with addition and subtraction. I think you'll enjoy them. In an addition problem, we're talking about putting things together. We're talking about taking one thing and another and another and another and adding them all up. We're talking about sum and total and all together and combined and plus and more than and greater than. Words that take this and this and this and this and add them all up. That's an addition word problem. And sometimes you'll find that they will use some of these words in the word problems. Sometimes they won't, but sometimes they will. So you want to make sure that you're watching out for these clue words. So remember, an addition word problem, you're taking one thing and another and another and another, and you're adding it all together. For instance, let's say I went to the store and I bought 1.5 pounds of plums, and then 2 1/5 pounds of peaches, and then I bought 3 3/5 pounds of pears. How many pounds of fruit did I buy altogether? What am I going to do? All together. I'm going to add them. This is combining. So let's add them up, and you know how to add fractions. Here we have different denominators, 2 and 5, and I need to find one number, one denominator that both 2 and 5 will go into. And if I multiply 2 times 5, I get 10. So let's make 10 our new denominator. So here's the 10, and here's the 10. And what are we going to do? Divide the bottom and multiply the top. So 2 into 10 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 into 10 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 into 10 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to add them all up. I have the same denominator. So 5 and 6 is 11, 12, 13 tenths. 3 and 2 is 5, and 1 is 6. Now, can I leave this 13 tenths like that? No, no, no. I have to change it. 10 into 13 goes once, with 3 tenths left over. So I want to add my 1 3 tenths to the 6, and I will get 7 3 tenths as my answer. So how much is all this fruit added up together? Well, it's 7 3 tenths pounds of fruit. So read your word problems carefully, because if you do, you might find they have some clue words. Let's do another one. Let's say that on Monday I was given $685, and on Tuesday I was given $220, and on Wednesday I was given $300. How much did I receive altogether? Again, addition problem. Let's add them. 5, 8 and 2 is 10, 5, 6, 6 is 12. So what did I end up with? $1,205. It's one thing and another, putting them all together. Now let's say that out of the $1,205, I decided to give $205 to my students at Sweetwater Adult School for student scholarships. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to take away $205. And what am I going to get? I'm going to get $1,000 left for me. So in a subtraction problem, you have one thing and you're taking something out. You have a big thing, you're taking something out. Maybe you have a small thing and you're taking something out. But when you're thinking about subtraction, we're talking about difference, minus. What's left? What's the remainder? Less than, fewer than. These are some clue words that will make you think, about subtraction. Now, let's do another subtraction problem. Here we go. Let's say I go back to that fruit store and I get 5 1/10 pounds of bananas, and then I want to make this whole grain banana bread, and I'm going to need 2 4/5 pounds of ripe bananas. How many bananas, how many pounds of bananas will I have left after I use the 2 4/5 in my baking? Subtraction problem. I have the bananas. I'm taking some out. What's left? Subtraction. So let's subtract. I'm going to leave this the same, and then I'm going to change my 5s into my 5ths into 10s. 5 into 10 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Now 1 minus 8 doesn't go, so I borrow from my 5. I make it a 4. I add 10 and 1. I get 11. 11 minus 8 is 3/10. 4 minus 2 is 2. So how many pounds of bananas do I have left? I have 2 3/10 pounds. Not quite enough to make another banana bread. So that's some clues for addition and subtraction word problems. And like I told you before, usually students don't have much of a problem with addition and subtraction word problems. The problems usually come with multiplication and division. What I'd like to show you right now is the famous of sandwich, which will help you in multiplication. Here we have a preposition, a very common preposition, of. I probably use the preposition maybe 100 times in a day. When you're reading a book, you'll count many times. You'll see the word of. When of is sandwiched in between two numbers, it always, always, always means multiply. So when you see a number of number, it always means multiply. 2/5 of 10, multiplication, number of number. 3/4 of 12, number of number, multiplication. 20% of 15, number of number, multiplication. So every time you see number of number, it means multiply. Some other key words are multiply or times or twice, 3 times. But the most popular one is number of number. Now let's do a few problems to see how that comes up. Remember, number of number means multiply. Now listen carefully. A student works 8 hours a day. A student worked 8 hours a day, and 3/4 of that time, 3/4 of that time, the student works on the computer. How much time does the student spend on the computer? Now this is a multiplication problem, and I'm going to show you how. Take a look. Here's the of. Now I know you're telling me there's no number of number, but there will be if you really read the question carefully. A student works 8 hours a day. 3/4 of that time they spent on the computer. What's that time? 8 hours, right? 3/4 of that time. What's the time? It's 8 hours. So 3/4 of 8 hours. And 3/4 of 8 hours is an of sandwich. Here's the number of number. So sometimes you have to really look at the problem and ask yourself, what is that time? Oh, it's 8 hours. Number of number. It means multiply. Let's do it. 3/4 times 8 over 1, I can cancel. And 3 times 2 is 6. So 3/4 of 8 hours, 3/4 of that time is 6 hours. Let's try another one. You getting the idea? Let's try another one. Let's see how well you do with your multiplication problems. Remember the of sandwich, number of number. Okay, Betty works 6 hours a day. Betty works 6 hours a day. And 1/3 of that time, 1/3 of that time is spent with her boss. How much time is spent with her boss? 1/3 of that time is spent with her boss. What's that time? Well, Betty works 6 hours. What's that time? It's 6 hours. And if you substitute 6 hours for that time, you will have an of sandwich. 1/3 of 6. Here we go. 1/3 times 6. You can cancel, and you're going to get 2 over 1, which will equal 2. So 1/3 of 6, number of number, multiplication, 1/3 times 6 is 2 over 1 equals 2. Now, if she works 2 hours with her boss, how much time does she have by herself when she works? 6 minus 2 equals 4. She works by herself 4 hours. And that's a two-step problem. Multiplication and subtraction. She works 6 hours. Take away the 2 hours she works with her boss, so there's 4 hours that she works by herself. So that's multiplication. Let's go on a little bit more, and let's talk about division. Now, any time you are cutting something, splitting something, giving something out, dividing something, sharing something, we're talking about division. And many times you'll see those words, cutting, sharing, dividing, splitting, giving out. You'll see those words in the problem. When you see those words, you want to divide. For instance, let's say that there's an $860 scholarship, and it is being given to the Sweetwater Adult School students. And this $860 scholarship is to be shared, here's my clue word, shared among 4 students. It's going to be shared by 4 students. How much will each student get? Oh, here it is, division, shared. There's my clue. What am I going to do? I'm going to divide 4 into 860. And what am I going to get? Well, I'm going to get $215 for each student. $215 scholarship for each student. It's shared. And what does that mean? That means division. Let's try another one. Not so bad, is it? Let's try one more. Here I have, now don't laugh at my artwork. Here is a piece of material. And we're going to divide it into 4 equal pieces. Can you use your imagination? This is not really very equal. Let me make it a little bit better. Maybe 4 equal pieces, supposedly. Okay, so here we go. We have a piece of material that's cut into 4 equal pieces. And this piece, to start out with, is 2 3/4 yards. 2 3/4 yards. And we're going to cut it into 4 equal pieces. And I want to know how large each piece is going to be. Here's my word, cut. It means divide. And when doing a fraction word problem, the thing being divided comes first. The thing being divided comes first. So we have 2 3/4 yards divided by 4. And you know how to do this. This is division of fractions. Let's do it. We multiply and add. 4 times 2 is 8, 9, 10, 11 fourths divided by 4 over 1, which will equal 11 fourths times 1 over 4, and then we multiply the top and we multiply the bottom. 11 times 1 is 11, 4 times 4 is 16. Each one of these pieces is 11/16 of a yard. And what was the clue word? It was cut. The other problem, it was share, divided by, giving out, split. All these things mean divide. Now, I'd like to show you a few more problems that you might encounter when you're doing your math. And this next one happens to be my favorite kind of problem. I particularly think it's pretty easy. But it's not easy when you don't know how to do it. So let me show you what we're going to do. It's a part to whole problem. Okay, so Janet teaches 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day. What part of the day does she teach? Well, there are 24 hours in a day, isn't there? So the whole amount of hours in a day is 24. 24 hours is the whole amount of hours in a day, and I teach 8 hours a day. If we reduce this, we're going to find out what part of the day I teach. Why, I teach for 1/3 of the day. This is a part to whole problem. If I teach 1/3 of the day, what part of the day do I not teach? Well, if the whole thing is 3/3, the whole day is 3/3, then 2/3 of the day is how much I don't teach. That's a two-part problem. How about we have some math tests and we want to find an average. Joan gets 79% on the first, and she gets 83% on the second, and she gets 90% on the third, and then she gets 100% on the last. Let's find her average score. What do? We add them up. 9 and 3 is 12, that's 10, 15. We get 352 points, 352%, let's say. And then what are we going to do? We're going to divide by the number of tests she took. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 into 352 is going to give me, an average of 88%. Average of 88%. So to do an average, you add up the scores and you divide by how many you're adding up. Okay, one last problem. We have Nicole's cereal bowl. Here's Nicole's cereal bowl. Nicole is my niece, and she's going to eat 2/3 of this cereal bowl is going to be made up of strawberries, and another 1/4 of this cereal bowl is going to be made up of blueberries. And all the rest right in here is going to be made up of whipped cream. And we want to know how much whipped cream she's going to get. So, what are we going to do? We're going to add. We're going to add 2/3 plus 1/4. And we're going to find out that 4 times 3 is 12. 3 into 12 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 into 12 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 and 3 is 11 twelfths. That 1/4 plus 2/3 of this bowl is 11 twelfths. Well, if all of this is 11 twelfths, then how much is this? Well, the whole bowl, the whole thing, will make it 12 twelfths. The whole thing is 12 twelfths. And if we subtract the strawberries and the blueberries from it, the part that's strawberries and blueberries, we're going to be left with 1/12, which is right here, for the whipped cream. So what did we do? We added 2/3 plus 1/4, and then we subtracted it from the whole thing, and we ended up with 1/12 that's not full of berries at all, but it's full of whipped cream. So what I'd like you to do is I would like you to go to workbook 1, and I would like you to do the homework. Now, part 1 is pages 54 to 55, and part 2 is pages 56 to 57. And after you finish that, you're going to find that there's test 1 and test 2, and these are cumulative fraction tests with word problems. So get ready, let's see how well you do. And when you come back, we'll be going on to the next video, video 6, which is decimals.